everyone, and welcome to Fiscal Talk. Please help me introduce and announce my dear colleague, Alexandra Marinkovic, our legal expert, who is our guest today. Alexandra, welcome to Fiscal Talk.
Hello, Tedora. Hello, everyone.
It is really great to have you here, especially because we are continuing to talk about one very important topic, and that is the introduction of one-stop shop. In our previous episodes, we covered the introduction of the topic, and you gave us a great overview of what is important, what were the challenges before, and how they were solved. Today, we are talking about even more interesting topic, and that is, in general, one-stop shop schemes. In the previous episode, Alexandre, we mentioned mini one-stop shop and how that was introduced. So today, please, let's cover one-stop shop schemes and all the details about it that are important for our audience.
Okay, so the previously mentioned mini one-stop shop system initially created two schemes, the union scheme and the non-union scheme. And with the establishment of the enlarged one-stop shop system, the third scheme was created, and that scheme is import one-stop shop or import scheme. And the easiest way to differentiate these schemes is to find out who can register for each scheme and what transactions each scheme covers. So we will begin with the union scheme, which is actually an electronic portal that simplifies up to 95% of VAT obligations for online sellers and electronic interfaces throughout the European Union, as it allows them to register for VAT electronically in a single member state for all intra-EU distance sales of goods and for business-to-consumer supplies of services. Also, they can declare and pay the VAT due on all supplies of goods and services in a single electronic quarterly return. And finally, they can work with the tax administration of their own member state and in their own language, even if their sales are cross-border. So for these schemes, both taxable persons established in the European Union and those not established in the European Union can register for, and also an electronic interface acting as a deemed supplier, as we mentioned earlier, can register for this scheme.
That's great, Alexander, to hear. Please, can we just mention for which transactions each of these taxpayers you mentioned can register for?
Okay, so a taxable person established in the European Union who is not a deemed supplier can use the Union OSS for supplies of B2C services taking place in a member state in which he is not established, so in different member states, and distant sales of goods within the European Union. Afterwards, so a taxable person not established in the European Union can use this scheme for distant sales of goods within the European Union. And finally, an electronic interface, whether established in the European Union or outside of the EU, facilitating supplies of goods, so acting as a deemed supplier, can use this scheme for distant sales of goods within the EU and certain domestic supplies of goods.
Great to hear, Alexandra. I am sure this is all very important to everyone who is watching us and has interest in this topic, and that is all parties that are involved into B2C commerce activities. For everyone who's watching us, I would love to invite you to comment below and ask questions on this topic. What is of your interest? Comment below or email us. It is always definitely great to hear from you. And until we finish today's topic, Alexandre, I would love to ask you to also cover the non-union schemes you mentioned at the beginning. We covered the union schemes, and we covered for which transactions each taxpayers you mentioned can register for. Now, before we finish, please let's focus on the non-union scheme as well.
Okay, so since July, 1st July 2021, the non-union scheme is extended and can be used for exclusively by sellers not established in the European Union. And it can be, so all those taxable persons can register for all B2C supplies of services taking place in the European Union made by these non-EU EU online sellers. And finally, we have the third, so the import scheme, which is actually the newest scheme established. So it covers the distant sales of goods imported from third territories or third countries to customers in the European Union up to a value of 150 euros. And both EU and non-EU established taxable persons, including electronic interfaces, can register for it.
Thank you for explaining this, Alexandre. The last thing, one that we've been waiting for, really, really well explained. Thank you. And like I said, to everyone who is watching us, definitely comment below if there's any additional questions you have on this topic, or email us because we would love to hear from you.
Sure.
Alexandre, thanks again for being my guest in Fiscal Talk. And to everyone who is watching us, stay tuned because this important topic we will cover also in one of the next episodes. Am I right, Alexander? But we will not tell what.
Completely. Yes, yes, a little surprise.
Yes, no leaking information, but just an invite to watch us next week as well. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.